Hey y'all, so welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a quick video just on something that has been on my heart, just looking at the world and all that we have going on right now. I wanted to do a video on how I handle chaos and chaotic situations. And honestly, I really don't think we can get away from chaos and drama in 2017. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're at the airport, turning on social media, at work. Really, it's almost as though drama follows us in America now. And chaos is one of those things that can really get you off track from your goals and from the other things that you're doing. So I wanted to just do a video on something that's really relevant to my own life right now, and to give you guys some tips that I have about how to deal with chaos, and specifically chaos when it leads to a lot of drama. So I wanted to start this video with the definition of chaos. And online dictionaries define chaos in two ways that I really like. The first one was chaos is complete disorder and dysfunction. The second one was that chaos is basically behavior that's so unpredictable that it appears to be random. But after a certain age, all of us know that there's really no such thing as just random ideas coming from anywhere. Everything has an origin and a starting place. And so whenever I enter into a chaotic environment, or if I turn on Facebook or social media and it seems like there's a lot going on and my energy starts to get drained, I try to remember, okay, Lindasha, what is the starting point for all of this? None of it is random. And one of the hardest parts about chaos in the 21st century is that you can get on Facebook or you can get on any social media site and you really never know what's going to hit you. You don't know if someone has lost a loved one. You don't know if you've lost a loved one. That has actually happened to me, whereby I found out about the death of a loved one through Facebook or through some other social media outlet. And this whole chaotic experience sort of comes to you when you may have been headed in one direction, and in reality now it throws you to the left. And so in this video, my goal is to give you like 3 tips on what to do if you find yourself in the midst of chaos in 2017 and beyond. I really don't think it's going anywhere soon. Okay, so tip number 1 for dealing with chaos. First of all, label it. In my experience, chaos from a starting point comes from 2 places. It's either internal or it's external. And one of my tips for figuring out which type of chaos I'm dealing with is to determine how my day was going before my mood changed. So for instance, if I'm having a good day and my hair is fly, I got my workout in and I'm feeling really good about myself, and then all of a sudden my mood turns bad, generally that's a sign for me that something external influenced my mood. And I can sort of trace it back to an event that occurred. And I can be like, okay, Lindasha, you were in a good mood, but then, someone called you or someone cut you off in traffic or whatever else, and it disrupted your mood and it brought you into this chaotic and confusing state. So if it's internal chaos, then generally I've learned that if I wake up and my mood is kind of already off, then I'm dealing with something that really isn't about an external influence, but it may be an issue that I haven't sorted through in my own heart or my own mind. So I typically use how my mood and my vibe to determine whether the chaos originated from within me or if the chaos came externally. For internal chaos, I have like 2 or 3 things that I generally do in order to make sure that I get my mood back in a stable place after I've realized that whatever's going on is on the inside of me. And one of those things is I always try to get alone. And when I say alone, just spend some time by myself. It is very hard to really deal with whatever issues you may have going on inside of your heart when you're consistently around other people. And very often, whatever mood you're dealing with, you can put that off on others. And everybody's dealing with their own issues. So sometimes if your attitude is not too good, it's best to stay alone and by yourself. After you get alone, my goal during that time is just to do something healthy, whether it's listening to music or basically getting a massage, or even for me, I'll do something that's called a heart vomit. And heart vomits, it's a word that I made up, and I may do a video about my heart vomits. You guys just be on the lookout, actually. I just thought about it. But Heart vomits are basically when I take a white piece of paper and whatever is going on the inside of me, I just put it all out on that white piece of paper. And the reason I use a white sheet of paper as opposed to maybe a journal is because with your heart vomit, you never know what's going to come out. So you may like shock yourself with whatever it is that you're really feeling in a moment. It may be about a loved one. It may be about yourself. And so you always want to be able to sort of rip up the evidence after you can see what's really going on. So that's how I handle getting back on track from internal chaotic situations. If I'm dealing with an external situation, then the first thing I do is I try to name the trigger. Generally for me, there are certain things that I know, like, I just don't vibe well with. And so at the end of the day, after I've named what that trigger is, if it's a person or if it is a place, sometimes certain places are not healthy environments for you. Maybe it's maybe a cousin or an auntie that's always, negative or something like that. And you go around and you're like, oh, my vibe is really messed up after I get done, being in that person's presence. Honestly, my first thing, I try to avoid it at all costs. And if it is family members, a lot of times that's a little bit harder, and you may have to address those situations with the person, and hopefully, they love you enough to try to deal with whatever the situation is. But honestly, people are grown and can do whatever that they want to do. And if they don't want to hear you out, sometimes your only help in dealing with something is to avoid it. And so whenever there's an external chaotic situation, I do my best to avoid it. If not, I try to address it directly. And at the end of the day, I think it's just very important to keep your space as healthy as possible so that you can enjoy your life and ultimately live out your best life. So those are my tips for how to deal with chaotic situations. You guys feel free to like, comment, give your tips below on how you deal with chaos, and hopefully we will all find those methods that can help us get over these humps in 2017 and really live out our best life. All right, guys, take care. That wasn't it. Complete disorder and confusion. Okay. There's an internal factor on. Just stop. And the online dictionaries have a few. So, what is external? We're gonna focus. Okay, hold on. Let me get my zone. Okay. All right.